welcome to Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. I'm Jasmine, I'm your host. Thank you so much for coming on to listen. I'm super happy. I don't know if you've seen my new stories that I've been doing. It's not stories, it is stories. I'm using them as stories, but I'm doing these little short clips, which are really cool that kind of like just point just a little small section of these great conversations that I have with people. And so Bote is saying hello. She's communicating today. Bote, let's not bark. Come on up. Come on up. Let's not bark. And so, as you guys know, Bote is part of the show. And today she decided that she was going to talk to you. So that's what she's doing. But also, I have a guest today, a man called Allan Flood. Hi, Allan.
Good morning, afternoon, evening.
Yeah, morning, afternoon, evening. Okay, so everyone, Allan is a serendipitous introduction, or Allan knows somebody that I know. And then Allan was like, I want to go talk with her. And so there we are. This is what happened. We came on. And as you know, everyone listening, the understanding that I live my life from is an understanding that comes from a man called Sydney Banks. And it started in the 70s. Am I right, Allan?
Yeah, mid-70s, early
Yeah.
70s, 74, 75.
So I was a little young. I didn't know him back then. And not that Allan is old, but Allan knew him back then. And so it's going to be interesting because I really love the conversation. I'm going to tell you, like there's this thing that I've been exploring lately, which is, we think that something's going to be wow, and it's actually just normal. There's a normal evolution that happens, and we just shape things and they become something. And some of the things, sometimes when people hear it, they kind of go, wow, that's incredible. But it's not like you wake up in the morning, you go to bed at night and you go, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then you wake up the next morning and it's all wow, right? And Allan was there for the beginning of what Sydney Bank is teaching, which is now actually known as the three principles understanding. And so I'm looking forward to hearing how it was, because right before the recording, what Allan said was three principles came later. That's not how it was in the beginning. Tell me more about that, Allan.
Well, when I met Sid in 78, right? A bunch of us were invited up to Salt Spring to hear this guy. And it was Sid, and he was just talking about oh gosh, insecure thinking and love and consciousness. And what I heard was not quite as codified or codified as the three principles that came after that very soon, very soon. But he didn't use the words the three principles. He just talked about his experience and what he saw and how it would help people. And I had no expectations when I went there. When I went to Salt Spring Island, the Cedar Beach Resort, and sat there with about 20 other people, and I was gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked. I had never been in the presence of somebody that was so humble and powerful, and I had never felt that depth of safety and peace and awakeness that I felt there in that, half-hour presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't have told you anything he said except that I want more, you know. So, and then after that, we all tried to teach the principles and led workshops and seminars and things. And then I drifted away from that for a number of years, and only came back when I was diagnosed with MS in 1986.
Mhm.
When I was diagnosed, I freaked out. I was in tears. Um, I, I, I didn't know anything about it. I researched and researched uh, everything I could read to find out how I could treat this thing or what it meant or what the symptoms could be. And what I realized very soon was that I wanted the same kind of feeling that I had when I met Sid, because I knew that that would be a healing state, and I knew that that would help me and guide me through the next however many years I was on the planet. And so I turned to old Sid tapes, you know, from 75, 78, 81, 83, 86, and touched that state of mind again. And since then, I have been very interested in helping other people uh, find a healing state for themselves, not necessarily to be healed, but to be in a healing state. So
Yeah,
that,
tell me about that. I'd love to hear that distinction because people like I'm sure there's a lot of people who have MS who and it's incurable, right? You
well,
cannot cure.
theoretically, there are one or two cases of spontaneous remissions from MS,
Okay.
but generally speaking, it's incurable, I guess you could call it that.
So what do you mean when you say I found the healing state or I wanted to be in the healing state? Like, what is the
What
difference
is that?
between it? Yeah.
Well, here's another story of that state coming out. That I talk about this in Perfect Misfortune, the book
Your
that
book.
I wrote. My wife Nancy and I were up cross-country skiing in the mountains at a cabin at Odell Lake in Oregon. And she wanted to go cross-country skiing one last time on the last day we were there, but the snow was really slushy. And if you've ever cross-country skied in slushy snow, it's more like snowshoeing, you know, there's no glide. So I thought, well, I'm going to sit here with our little Yorkie named Amber and just sit here and figure out something to do. So I sat on the couch with Amber snoring on the couch, and I thought, well, Alan, do you want to read? And I thought, no, I don't want to read. This is too beautiful with a fire crackling, snowflakes coming down in this little cabin up in the old growth forest here on Odell Lake. And what happened was kind of very slowly, I got quieter and quieter, and it felt like a becoming more awake to my senses and the world around me, and everything became more clear. You know, the world became more clear, and I sat there and I thought, this is familiar, and so that in my mind we can heal physically, right, from a cut, or we can heal emotionally when we learn that we can be authentic and vulnerable, and we can be ourselves, and it's okay. Or we can heal spiritually, where we find something deeper in ourselves that we have always known about and has been obscured, I guess, obscured by our lives and our personal thinking and our insecurities. And we have done many things that have been unwise in our lives. And if we had paid more attention to that internal quiet and wisdom, we might not have made those decisions. And I, continue to make lousy decisions, but I trust this state of mind more now, so that if I'm triggered by something, if I fall into a rabbit hole, I trust that I will be out of that rabbit hole soon, or I trust that that rabbit hole is just coming from my insecure thoughts being brought alive by my consciousness. So,
Is
yeah, I
that
was,
what you, sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
is that what you call the healing state?
Yeah, yeah, that is the healing state is where you're awake and you're not asleep in your personal thinking or insecure thoughts. And this personal thinking can feel so alive, but it can also feel anxious and scary and depressed and angry and despairing. And the healing state doesn't have that. It's the healing state. It doesn't have it. Those feelings are not in the healing state. The healing state is quiet and peaceful and open and wise and can be filled with joy. Not so much excitement. Excitement is what happens when there's just a little bit usually of insecurity in the joy that you're feeling. Like I skied for 65 years, and on a bright sunny day and 6 inches of powder snow, I was feeling great excitement while I was skiing and joy when I was finished with the run. So insecurity and loving it, going down the hill, joy and just plain simple happiness at the bottom when I was done. And it had been a great experience. So
Tell me more about that. I'm a little, like, I think I'm a little caught up in my head about that. So excitement is when you have a little bit of insecurity.
yeah, well, think about bungee jumping, right? That's incredibly exciting, I imagine. Well, and I also think that everybody's different, right? So you put a bungee cord on me, I'm going to be incredibly excited and incredibly scared all at the same time.
Mm.
But you put it on somebody who's done it a million times, or is at ease with it and feels joy with it, they won't have the insecurity. They won't have that feeling. But I think for most people, bungee jumping has a little touch of excitement and fear in there.
I
So
have a big amount of fear around it personally.
you have bungee jump?
I've never bungee jumped, but I
Oh,
have a lot of thinking and it's fearful thinking around it. I don't think
yeah,
I can do it.
yeah, yeah. That I've learned to trust less my insecure thinking if it's triggered. I mean, you never know when you're going to be triggered. You never know when you're going to be triggered. You're feeling great. You've got a Sydney Banks tape popped in your car and you're listening to it. You feel wonderful. And then the guy behind you is in a great big truck and he's pushing because he wants you to go faster and you're triggered. And that's just life. And I've learned to trust that when that happens, it's okay. It's okay, Alan. It's okay. And to step back from it as soon as I can, or let it flow through.
It
Not,
sounds like embracing your humanity.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a good way to say it. Yeah, one thing I like about this understanding is that it enables you to be human.
Mm.
It enables you to be authentic and vulnerable.
I'm
And
seeing that more and more for myself. I'm seeing it, like I could see the times that I've struggled, if I look at my path, when I was younger, I was struggling because of what I thought people did. And then as I got, I did a lot of personal development, and then I started to see, oh, actually, it's coming from me. And then I started beating myself up because of what I was doing. Like I could literally
mm,
see what I was
mm,
doing. And then I got into a beating myself up about it. And then when I got into this understanding, it was just kind of like, oh, actually, that's just something that I do. It's not something that I am. I can stop doing it
mm,
now that I know that I'm doing it, instead of, you know, hiding what I'm doing because I think that I am. Like
mm,
there was like there's a shift in that, and just going, oh, oh,
yeah.
okay. There's a relief in understanding. Oh, okay. I just like right lately, I just got upset. Something happened and I was really upset. And then I got into judging myself. Why did you get upset? You're not supposed to get upset. And then I said, okay, instead of going to anger, because when I go into anger, I'm actually just, defending who I am. That's what I'm seeing for myself. If I get angry, it's like I'm defending who I am. And now I'm like, okay, so what are you defending? Like, and now I'm kind of like seeing the flag is kind of, okay, you're angry. What are you defending? And then, it was, the feeling of being unloved. Okay, that's that was a feeling. I just felt that it's not the truth. That's what I thought. That's what it feels like. It's okay. You're good. I'm okay, Jasmine. you know?
Yeah, okay. It's okay. Yeah, I know. Sid used to get angry. He'd get angry when I believe he would get angry. And I don't want to speak for him, obviously, but I think he would get angry when people were playing games around him. I remember one guy who was playing an ego game. Just any game that involved the ego was not okay. That was really not okay. And he was telling about his experience after that, this guy was. And he was just almost white with the impact of having Sid confront him about this ego game. And I have a hunch that the ego game was a deep one. It was so when he was confronted, it really struck him. It really impacted him.
Yeah, he had to work through stuff as well.
Absolutely,
Right? It's
absolutely.
not like that's the thing, right? We think, oh, now that we see this, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'm perfect now. No.
Yeah, no, things. So I'm in a conference. Somebody asked him, "Well, okay, Sid. People were like this, right? Sometimes. Okay, Sid. I get that you had this great experience. So tell me how you felt when your first wife died." And he said, "I was devastated. I lost my best friend." And for me, that's so confirming that this understanding is about being human. And I was raised in a house where it was not okay to be human. You know, it was okay to be a certain way. It was okay to have certain thoughts. It was okay to have certain feelings, but not others. It was definitely not okay to be authentic. And it was definitely okay not to be vulnerable. So it's been it's and experiencing that has been a journey for me.
So I feel like circling back to you discovering that, or finding out that you had MS, and where how it was for you in the beginning and where you at now, because I really want to talk about your cool cart. That's what I want to talk about to people.
Oh, my cool cart.
I want to talk
Can
about your cool cart.
can I start by describing that cool cart?
Of
Is
course you
that
can.
okay? Okay, so listeners, you may have a need for something like this. My wife thinks I look stupid, but here's what this thing is. So it's a three-wheeled cart. It's got the motors in the front and the single wheel, and you sit on it, and it's like a tricycle. And you can go, it's electric, you can go 20 miles or 15 miles an hour with this thing, which I haven't tried yet because I'm sure that'll be the last time I ever ride it. I'm sure, but this is a great aid. So I have like I said, I've been a skier or was a skier for 65 years. Last summer I had to turn in my, or had to, yeah, I had to turn in my skis because I wasn't enjoying myself anymore. It was too hard. I felt mostly relief after dropping these skis off because I wasn't putting that on myself anymore. But so I can walk a certain distance, maybe less than I could 2 years ago. So I got this trike, because that's what Nancy and I call it, is a trike. Because I wanted something that I could go with Nancy and our new Yorkie Lisa. So Lisa and Nancy and I can go for a walk. And it folds up and you can carry it. So if I'm rested, I get off it, I fold it up, and I walk. So anyway, that's this piece of equipment. It's really wonderful. It's been a lot of fun. And unless I fall into a hole somewhere, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway,
I
that's
thought
the
that was
term.
a very cool, like it's you know like I've changed quite a bit, but I remember younger when I would hear that people were sick or had these grave illness, I would be afraid to talk to them. I would be afraid to hurt their feelings or say something wrong. Or like now I'm kind of like, I just get that
Mhm.
it's like it's your life. It's how you're living life, and you can talk about it, and you can find cool stuff. Like I really like that little, like it was a really cool you'd think I'd love to hear, that you don't listen to the thinking, but I thought it was really cool to go, this is what I want to do. Live the life you want, right? This is what I
Live the
want to
life
do.
you want.
I want to go for a walk with my dog and my wife, and I know that at a certain point I might get tired. So what am I going to do inside this to still have the thing that I want? Like that for me is just like,
Yeah.
you're unstoppable. Yeah. You could say, "Oh, I'm sick. I can't do this. I'm done that." No, no, no. Or you can say, "Okay, I can't do that, but what else can I do?" That to me is so inspiring.
I was a ski instructor for the disabled in California, and I worked with people with one leg, no legs, no legs and arms, brain injury, blind. I mean, what I learned during that experience was that if just because you have a disability, you can still be okay. You're not broken. You can still be okay, and you can do pretty much whatever you want within your own physical limitations, which guess what is true for every one of us, and as you get older, and I am older, that would happen anyway. See? So maybe I got a preview. I don't know. But yeah, you know who is hard it's on? It's hardest on the people that you're close to,
I believe
because
that. I
it's
believe that.
hardest on them. And that's one reason I like the trike, is because Nancy and I used to go for long, long walks, and we can't do that anymore. So this helps us get out. And we used to do a lot of uh, kayaking, but just yesterday we bought a canoe because it's a little easier, and you can still go on the water, and you can take your little dog and still have fun. So like you say, it's about adapting, isn't it, Jasmine? It's about adapting to life as things happen.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone, just earlier today, and it was about just being unstoppable. Like, we're here to live, and then we hear thoughts that, limit us, and we hear something that says you can't, and we say, okay, I can't, and then but you don't want to believe it, but you're like, I have to. I love the unstoppable portion of life. I mean,
Yeah,
if you can just say, okay, what is it that I want? And then go for it. You're going to think of one way of doing it. And then if you try it and that way doesn't work, then it's about doing it another way. It's like there we're here to move, we're here to live, we're here to, and stuff's gonna happen.
yeah, and stuff's gonna happen. My mom was a warrior. In fact, my mom is 105 years old, coming up at the end of this month, and she has worried her whole 105 years. So I grew up with that model, and what I know with this understanding is that when I worry, first of all, it probably doesn't mean anything. And secondly, it's okay. It's okay to worry. And I think Sid said at one point something about fear. If if human beings could learn just not to be as afraid of life or their own thinking as they are, the world would change. So I believe that 100%. It kills me that my ego would rather have me suffer than give up the idea that it needs to be alive. It needs to exist. That just kills me. I mean, come on. Alan, Alan, Alan,
It
step
is, it's,
back from yourself.
yeah. But it's cool that we've seen it, and it's cool that we know that it's there, and we can go back to, like, we can always go back to seeing, okay, so this is happening because of me. What it's not because of me, but it's happening inside me. Like, there's
Yeah,
something inside of us that's saying this, that we're believing. We can always go back and look, like, there's only us, only I know what I truly think. Only I can see what's going on inside of me. No one else can look
no one
inside.
else can.
No one else.
I wish human beings, and I wish I had one of those backup beeper lights you see on garbage trucks. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Alan, there you go. Beep, 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 beep.
Back it up. Back it
Back,
up.
back it up. Back it up.
Well, Alan, believe it or not, we've already gone through our 30 minutes. But what I'd like you to talk about, like, let's say somebody wants to talk to you, like, how can they reach out to you?
Probably the best way is through Facebook,
Okay.
message. And as I understand it, you have access. I don't have a website at right now.
Yeah.
I'm developing one. But as I understand it, they can get a hold of you, Jasmine. Is that correct?
Yeah, if they want, if you can't find him on Facebook, for sure, just send me a message and I'll get you guys connected. It will be my pleasure. And are you having anything going on right now that, if people are interested, do you have a program going on, or are you just doing one-on-one coaches right now?
Right now, just one-on-one. I just finished with a partner, a healing group of people. That's over now. So trying to figure out, what the best thing is to do now. But I'd love to do another group, and of course, I'm doing individual,
Okay.
individual, individual coaching. So,
And anybody that wants to buy your book, they can find it on Amazon?
oh yeah, 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 sure. Amazon.com, and you can read the first pages of it so you can see if it resonates with you. You'll know right away whether this is a book that is soothing and healing and has the right feeling to it for you or not.
Okay,
You
and you're
know,
and I might be, spilling the beans here, but you're in discussions right now. There's something possibly like a book club coming up soon. We don't have to say everything, but something might be coming up.
something. Yeah, I'd like the book club, the club based on Perfect Misfortune that I and my partner did. Um, we might be doing that again
Okay.
because Perfect Misfortune is a great core of healing for people, and what I'd like to do more of that as well.
Fantastic. Well, Alan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you.
It was fun. I'm happy that we met.
Yes, me too. Me too.
All right. So everybody who's listening, I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. And I'm going to say, dream it, dare it, do it, live the life that you want. And then we'll see each other on another episode. Have a good one.